For years, TikTok's fate in the US has been a high-stakes drama, blending national security fears with the unstoppable force of global culture. The app, known for its addictive short videos, has become a cultural phenomenon, influencing trends and shaping the way people communicate. The app, beloved by 170 million Americans, became a proxy in the US-China tech rivalry, raising questions about data, influence, and the future of the internet. Concerns over data privacy and potential misuse of information have fueled debates and heightened tensions. Could a Chinese-owned app ever be trusted by a wary US government? The skepticism was palpable, with officials scrutinizing every aspect of the app's operations. That question echoed through Congress, Silicon Valley, and the courts. Lawmakers debated the implications, tech experts weighed in, and legal battles ensued. The Trump administration demanded a forced sale, leading to legal battles and a Supreme Court decision upholding a law. ByteDance must divest or face a ban. The stakes were high and the world watched closely. Yet, the ban never came. Despite the intense scrutiny and legal wrangling, TikTok remained accessible to millions of American users. Instead, 4 presidential postponements signaled a search for a compromise balancing security, economics, and politics. Each delay reflected the complexity of the issue and the need for a nuanced solution. The eventual resolution was a complex, negotiated deal, hinting at a new model for foreign tech firms in America: corporate restructuring, data localization, and unprecedented government oversight. TikTok's survival is more than an app's story. It's a glimpse into a future where the digital world is partitioned by national interests, and cooperation is fragile. The saga of TikTok in America underscores the delicate balance between innovation, security, and international relations. The breakthrough didn't come from a courtroom, or from the months of tense legal battles that had dominated headlines and left both sides digging in their heels. Instead, it arrived unexpectedly, through a direct and highly anticipated call between President Trump and President Xi on September 19, 2025, a moment that would shift the course of the TikTok saga. Officials on both sides described the conversation as productive and constructive, a rare thaw in a relationship so often defined by trade wars, mutual suspicion, and sharp rhetoric. The call was not just about business. It was about resetting the tone between two global superpowers. The call gave both leaders the political cover they needed for a compromise. Trump could claim a victory for American control over TikTok, reassuring his base and lawmakers, while Xi preserved ByteDance's global standing and avoided the humiliation of a forced divestiture. ByteDance quickly confirmed it would proceed with the deal, but was careful to note that any agreement would strictly comply with Chinese law and regulatory requirements, signaling to Beijing that its interests were being protected. In Washington, Trump announced that TikTok's U.S. business would be sold to a group of American investors, with tight government oversight to ensure national security. The move was framed as a major win for American interests and a model for future tech disputes. Both sides worked hard to frame the deal as a win, highlighting the delicate diplomatic dance required to satisfy domestic audiences while keeping the door open for future cooperation. China's foreign ministry called for mutual respect and warned against unilateral U.S. trade restrictions, making it clear that Beijing expected a more balanced approach in future negotiations. The call was more than a business deal. It was a carefully orchestrated diplomatic maneuver, showing that even rivals with deep-seated differences can find common ground when their interests align and the stakes are high. With a major APEC summit just weeks away, the TikTok deal became a powerful symbol of pragmatic cooperation, hinting at the possibility of a new chapter in U.S.-China relations, one where dialogue, not confrontation, could set the tone for the future. The groundwork for the deal was laid in Madrid, where negotiators crafted a uniquely complex arrangement. This wasn't just any ordinary business deal. It was a strategic maneuver involving multiple stakeholders and intricate legal frameworks. Instead of a simple sale, TikTok's U.S. operations would spin off into a new American company, serving 170 million U.S. users in a separate ecosystem. This new entity would operate independently, ensuring that American users' data and privacy are safeguarded. Ownership would shift to a consortium of American investors, with Oracle as the cloud partner, ensuring all U.S. data stays on American soil. This move aims to address national security concerns and build trust among American users. The most contentious issue, the algorithm, was resolved by licensing, not selling, the technology to the U.S. entity, sidestepping Chinese export laws. This clever workaround allows the U.S. company to use the algorithm while keeping the core technology under Chinese control. A new TikTok app, running on a separate algorithm and data system, is set to launch in September 2025 under U.S. oversight. This ensures that the app complies with American regulations and standards. The deal's finalization is targeted for late October or early November, pending regulatory approval. This timeline allows for thorough review and adjustments to meet all legal requirements. This hybrid model, local ownership, data, and oversight, could become the new playbook for cross-border tech. It represents a balance between global collaboration and national sovereignty. It's a sign that in a global digital world, national interests still rule. This deal could set a precedent for future tech negotiations, highlighting the importance of balancing innovation with security. ByteDance's journey has been a masterclass in corporate diplomacy, balancing the demands of the U.S. and China. The U.S. wanted a clean break from Chinese control. China's laws blocked the sale of core technology. ByteDance's solution: license the algorithm, not sell it, and publicly thank both Trump and Xi, signaling compliance to both governments. This dual strategy allowed ByteDance to keep its intellectual property while meeting U.S. demands for control. The result? ByteDance's valuation soared to $400 billion, with annual revenue up 52% to $155 billion. Its ownership, 60% global investors, 20% founders, 20% employees, reflects its global identity and complexity. ByteDance's ordeal is now a blueprint for Chinese tech firms. Transparency, restructuring, and local partnerships are the price of access to the West. In today's climate, survival means mastering both technology and geopolitics. At the heart of the TikTok dispute is its powerful recommendation algorithm, the secret behind its addictive For You page. U.S. officials feared the algorithm could be used for propaganda or data harvesting, giving the Chinese government a potential intelligence goldmine. Chinese law compels companies to cooperate with state intelligence, fueling U.S. concerns. The Madrid deal's solution: license the algorithm to a new U.S. company, with oversight and auditing by American authorities. The new app will run on a contained system, monitored for manipulation or backdoors. Critics remain skeptical, arguing that any ByteDance influence is a risk. The deal's success hinges on rigorous, transparent oversight. The algorithm debate has become a geopolitical precedent for how the U.S. treats foreign code. Its resolution will shape future tech policy. The TikTok saga mirrors the broader U.S.-China relationship, defined by trade wars, tariffs, and strategic competition. The deal came after months of high-stakes talks, with both sides seeking to avoid deeper economic conflict. Even as the U.S. imposed tariffs on Chinese goods, the TikTok compromise showed that cooperation is possible amid rivalry. Direct presidential engagement, like the September call and the planned APEC summit, is now essential for crisis management. The TikTok deal is a strategic concession, stabilizing relations ahead of key diplomatic meetings. For the U.S., it's a national security win. For China, it protects a global tech champion. The episode proves that economic interdependence forces pragmatic solutions, even in tense times. Despite the deal, finalizing TikTok's future is far from certain. The agreement faces regulatory hurdles in both Washington and Beijing, and Congress remains deeply skeptical of any arrangement short of a total sale. Critics worry the licensing deal leaves room for Chinese influence, prompting calls for hearings and possible legislative action. Technically, launching a new U.S. app and migrating 170 million users is a massive challenge. Any misstep could unravel the deal. The compromise depends on flawless execution and continued political will from both governments. A flare-up over trade or Taiwan could derail the fragile trust. The TikTok piece is fragile, resting on shifting geopolitical sands. News of the TikTok deal sent global markets soaring, especially Chinese tech stocks. The Crane Shares CSI China Internet ETF surged over 60% in 2025, reflecting renewed investor confidence. A Morgan Stanley survey found over 90% of investors now willing to increase exposure to China, the highest since 2021. ByteDance's valuation jumped to $400 billion as investors rewarded its ability to navigate US-China tensions. The deal is seen as a template for risk mitigation, suggesting Chinese firms can operate in the US under new rules. The fear of a chaotic decoupling has faded, replaced by a model of managed competition. For markets, this predictability is invaluable. The TikTok deal is more than a reprieve for an app. It's a blueprint for global tech in an age of techno-nationalism. The new model, local ownership, data, and oversight, may become standard for foreign firms in strategic sectors. For US users, TikTok will remain, but within a controlled American ecosystem. The broader lesson: total decoupling is too costly, so managed integration is the new norm. The upcoming APEC summit will test whether this spirit of cooperation can extend to other disputes. TikTok's story is one of adaptation, by a Chinese giant, the US government, and both superpowers. The path forward will be tough, requiring constant negotiation and balance. But the fragile peace over TikTok offers hope that even rivals can cooperate when it matters most.